afternoon, and welcome to this apprenticeship clinic. It's great that you can join us today, and this is going to be a chance really for us just to chat a little about the opportunities that are out there with Workplus, and also just to give you a hand as you start to prepare or improve your application. So probably just wanted to use this time. Let's take a look together at the platform, and we can work from there. We'll see how we get on. As I say, please do ask questions. This is going to be so much better for you all if you use that opportunity to get us to help you through that. So great to have you all with us, and we have our platform, which is really there to try and make it easier for you to apply to lots of different types of apprenticeship. And you can go and explore those opportunities through our Apprenticeship Explorer, where you can browse by sector and go in and have a look at the ones where you think you might have a real interest in. You can make your initial application for the ones that say apply now. And for those that don't say apply now, you can register your interest. And then once companies come on board, hopefully that need that sort of apprentice, we can then push that out to you as notifications so that you know you can come in and apply for those. So let's take, for example, just project management there. We've got BIM project management. If we go back to the search function, we can type in whatever we like in this space. So say you're interested in accounting, so click on that, see what happens. Okay, brilliant, that's good. So finance and accounting, and there's accounting level 5. Aren't any opportunities in that just yet, but we do have some at accounting at level 2 and level 3 where you can go and apply now. If you want to look at the full listing of all the opportunities that are available, you can do that as well. And there's a full list of about 40 different types of apprenticeship, and it gives you details of the companies, the starting salary, what you could earn up to as a starting salary. And let's choose the business admin one as an example. So you see here there are 3 employers that would like a business admin apprentice. It's Loudon Guitars, Salmon, and Gilbert Ash. And the deadline, as with all our apprenticeships, is 1 p.m. on the 26th of February. So we'll just jump straight in, really. Let's get going. So if you haven't registered before or haven't started an application, you'll need to do so. So just pop your email in here, and that will allow you to get a notification to your inbox and then a magic link in there. So there's no password to set, it's just all with magic link. Click on the magic link in your email that you receive, and that'll take you straight to your application. What I'll just do is I'll log in just because we've done this before. And once you've completed your first application, you'll be able to then really apply for as many as you want. So I'll just log in here. So you can see here I've already applied for a couple just as a demo. I've done that already. At any time, you can withdraw that application up until the 26th of January. But I actually want to apply for another one. So I'm going to go and apply for a new opportunity. So which one do I want to apply for? Well, it's that business administration one. I'd love to work for Loudon Guitars or Salmon or Gilbert Ash. And that'd be really great. So you just click the privacy policy there, click complete section, and then you're straight in really to the different types that the employers are available. You can move them around because whenever the companies receive your application form, they're going to be able to see where you put them in your preference. And if you don't want to work for one, you just literally go over and click remove, and then they won't see your application at all. And just click OK on that one. And then there are different training providers. Don't worry about this too much around the training provider because it'll really be up to you and your employer to work together on that. But you can see in this business admin, there are a lot of training providers. So you can just leave it as it is if you don't have any particular preference. And just click OK. I'll take you through. And then you can see, brilliant, business admin's been added to my list. So if this is the first time that you've done this, you'll see your full application. And you can go in here and do that full application for the first time. And you can then go in and choose your qualification types. So the qualifications here, then you can select different types of qualifications that you might have. I encourage you to put all the qualification types that you have into this space, because you want to bring forward your truest self to the companies. They want to be able to see what you have at GCSEs, essential skills, A levels, degrees if you're applying, having had a job already or a degree and then coming back to that. So put in as many as you like. Just say, for example, let's just choose A level. Let's say I did A level biology. So I just type in biology here and the autofill pops up. Just click on that. What grade did I get? Well, I didn't do very well in it. Got a C or a D, maybe say. Got a D, and that autofill is up. Where did they get it from? Well, actually, I did that at Belfast Met. Let's put that down. Grand. And then I got it, say, in 2020. Let's go for that. And then click save. And then that populates in here underneath. And you can see there, fill one out already for a different place as well. So you've got these qualifications which you can fill out. You can click save, fill out as many as you have, and then just say list complete. Have you had any previous work experience? Now, don't worry if you haven't, but the companies that we work with are keen to know whether or not you have or not. So if you've had previous work experience, click yes, and then click next. And then you can add in the name of your employer, when it commenced, when you left, employer's address, job title, duties and responsibilities. I'll not think too much about the main detail of this part but the duties and responsibilities, you have 100 words to talk about the things that you did in that job. So don't just say I was a cashier if I worked in a supermarket, or I worked in a bar. That you can say much more than that. Think about the skills that you learned while you were there, not just the practical skills, but also the people skills. Who were you working with? Were you working with people in a team? Was that difficult at times? What responsibilities did you have? Try and put as much into that as possible, because that will be really useful for your employers whenever they come to shortlist you. And then if you've left the role, then you would say why you've left that role. So I'll just flick back here because I don't want to go. So if I just say no, then we can move on to the next section. Okay, so why do you want to become an apprentice? Now, love it. That's not good enough, really, is it? So 200 words. You have 200 words to really make an impression on these employers. So why do you want to become an apprentice? What I encourage you to think about here is if you're applying for your a type of apprenticeship, that you're saying that I want to do this because I want to take the next step after school, after college. Maybe you're retraining, you're already working in a job, but you've seen that there are these companies. Say why you want to become an apprentice, and try and give as much detail in there as possible. Hobbies and interests as well. So you want to try and give as much detail here about the things that you really enjoy doing. But don't just talk about them in the sense that, well, yeah, I like those things. If you can say, well, yeah, I'm part of a sports group, or I'm part of an orchestra, or I help out with a local charity shop in my spare time, or something like that. Talk about the things that you learn there and how you could then apply those to becoming an apprentice. Because what the employers are looking for are people who understand that all the experiences that we go through, whether bad or good, can actually be used to help us in the future. So try and bring that to your application. Some of the employers we work with do need you to be able to drive. That won't be true for all, so don't worry about this. Just put down whether you've got access to a car, whether you're not permitted to drive in the UK. But what's really important is that you have a right to work in the UK. You will not be able to be an apprentice unless you have a right to work in the UK. So that's very important. And this is just helpful for us just in terms of knowing where you've heard about Workplus. So just put down the source that you find most useful for that. So make that section complete. Just need to pop something in there for that. And then it's just accepting the declaration just to say everything that I've put in is is true and accurate. On your qualifications, don't worry if it's predicted grades. We understand that so many of you won't have your grades awarded just yet if you're sitting exams this year, so don't worry about that. And then you just hit submit form, and that will take you through to the end of the application. So one thing, additional thing we'd like to say is that, so not only with Workplus are we making it easier for you to apply to lots of different types of apprenticeships with lots of different employers, but what we've tried to do is to also allow you to bring forward your truest self. You know, your qualifications, even the 200 words about your hobbies and interests, that's going to give an employer a good sense of what they're looking for and who you are. But what we've introduced this year is an aptitude test, and that's an aptitude test to really help you bring forward your truest self to the employer. So if you click on the aptitude test, you can begin that. I will not go through it all in detail today, but it does take around 40 minutes to do it all. But I would encourage you to do that. It's not mandatory, but what we would encourage you to do is the employers will be looking at the scores that you get within this test. And I suppose this year, if you're leaving school, if you're doing exams, you're probably going to have your teachers assessing your grades for you. Here is something that is completely within your control. Here's something that you can do that will give you a score which will help match you with a potential apprenticeship. So whilst a lot of it is out of your control this year, here's something that you can do. So I'd encourage you to do that aptitude test. It'll really give you the best chance of being matched with the right type of apprenticeship. Okay. Now, if you've there are some of our apprenticeships that we're working with this year, some of the companies are using another platform, which is a skills assessment platform called Talent Census. And if you've applied for an apprenticeship, which one of those companies uses Talent Census on, then you can click on this as well. So that while the aptitude test is more around who you generally are, your personality, your general abilities, the match for the particular the core skills within the job, the talent census is specific for some of the companies we work with. So very similar in a way to the aptitude test, but if you've applied for companies that use the aptitude test and talent census, then we'd encourage you to do both of those, and that will give you a good match with the business that are looking for the apprenticeships. So really that's us through the application process, and I wondered if there are any questions, and we can maybe take those now. But we just wanted to use this as a chance to give you the bit of an insight into why the application is set up the way it is, and then to give you the opportunity to ask any questions. So just leave it, and the chat function is there, and the Q&A function is there. So if there are any questions, please just type those in now and we'll pick those up. Doesn't need to be any longer than it needs to be today. We really just wanted to give you the chance to come and hear a bit more about the Workplus process. So question coming in here from George says, can I apply for level 7 civil engineering if I'm just coming out of A levels, or would I apply for level 5? So George, thanks for that question. And the answer is I would encourage you to apply for both. And the reason for that is that the level 5 civil engineering, and this is true of most level 5 apprenticeships, which have a foundation degree as the education part, that will require some form of level 3 qualification. What does level 3 mean? Well, level 3 is either an extended diploma or a diploma at college, or usually A levels. So if you get certain grades in your A levels, you will be eligible for level 5. But if you get higher grades in your A levels, you'll likely be able to go on to apply for that master's degree apprenticeship that you've referred to, that would take you right up to level 7. So I would encourage you to apply for both sets. It won't require an awful lot more effort on your part. You just do your general application and then apply to both level 5 and level 7. And then that means you'll be considered by the companies that want that type. And there are different companies who want level 5 and want level 7, so you'll need to do a different preference order for them. Any other questions? Just to remind you that the applications close 2 weeks today. So Friday the 26th at 1 p.m. is the deadline. And then the companies will take a week, and we'll be working with them to get them ready to start to shortlist. And that'll take place for 3 weeks from the 8th of March onwards. And then the interviews they'll be in touch with you late March, early April about interviews. And the interviews will be over by the end of April, and then offers will be made at that point. So just trying to provide some coordination to the whole system here. Okay, so question coming in here says, can you apply at the end of year 13 or only after year 14? So we have had some people apply at the end of year 13. If you do that, it's likely that you'll have to go into a level 3 apprenticeship, which in a way is a bit like saying that you're restarting year 13, because you probably could have got into that level 3 apprenticeship with just GCSEs. But in many cases, that's a step that some people will want to take because they maybe don't want to stay on at school for year 14. So they'll want to take that step back in a sense, but to go quickly up into an apprenticeship that they really want to do rather than staying in school for another year. So that's it. The option is really up to you as to whether or not you stay on to do year 14 and then go into either level 5 or level 6 or level 7 apprenticeship degree level, or you take that step and go into a level 3 after year 13. So hopefully that answers your question. Okay, Ellie has asked here, should hobbies and interests question be mainly focused on skills you have rather than just general hobbies? So Ellie, I would encourage you to think about including the skills that you've gained whilst doing those hobbies. We've had a look through some of the applications so far, and it is interesting that some people will apply and write one sentence in that, and when it says max 200 words, it's not 200 words is not an awful lot, but we want you try and go as close to that 200 words as you can. If employers are looking through a list of applicants and they're shortlisting, and they see that for that particular question, someone has written 7 or 8 words, that I can't imagine that applicant is going to go any further in the process. So think about the skills that you've built up, hobbies and during the hobbies and interests. One thing that we and this will be recorded, by the way, so we can share this webinar afterwards. One of the ways in which I encourage you to think about it is in three areas: the situation, the behavior, and the outcome. Those are maybe not an approach that you've thought about before. So the situation, what do I mean by that? Well, we'll talk about where you were when you gained the skill, but don't major too much on that. Don't spend a lot of time saying about, well, it was a wet Wednesday afternoon that I turned up to the supermarket that I was working in, and John wasn't in that day, but Ellie, don't work too much about the detail of the situation. Just say, I was working in the Spar in X town whenever I did this, and that's the behavior part. So what did you do? And you wouldn't say something like, well, we completely redid the whole store. We put all the groceries out on all the shelves. We did that. Well, no. Well, what was the thing you did? What did you do in that job? Or what did you do in that sports team? We won all our matches. Well, yeah, that sounds great, but what did you do? So that's the behavior part. So in the situation, I did this, and it's hard to say I because we like to say we because it doesn't really come naturally to us to talk about, oh, I did this, I did that, I did that, the other thing, because we know if we've got people like that in our lives, they're not great fun to be around. So I did this, but that's okay in this context because the employer wants to know what you did. So in this situation, I did this, and this was what happened. Either I got better at something, or everyone got better because of my role in something, or we won that because I did this, or this happened because I did that. So try and bring out the situation, behavior, outcome approach in your responses, even to the hobbies and interests one. I'll not give you the exact of what some people have said so far in that, but let's put it this way: they've been very, very short, and some of the evidence they've been bringing forward could be a lot better. So hopefully that's helpful, Ellie. Great. Question coming in from Connell. So, what position, division, and company would I put into the aptitude test? So, those are predefined um, fields, Connell, that the company preview that we work with have. You don't need to put those in. You just put in your email address and your name, and that will take you through. It's just the ones that have an asterisk beside them that are required. You don't need to fill out anything else other than that. Hopefully that helps. Okay. Question coming in here: are any subjects at A level preferred? So there are specific apprenticeships that will require a different type of person. So if you think about engineering, that you'll need to be someone who has done STEM subject, not all STEM subjects, but if you look at the university requirements for the degree level apprenticeships, if you go to the listing page on our site, that will then take you to the university's website, and it will tell you there. Maybe just actually just do that as an example, and we can just do that together. Let's try that now, just so it's clear. So if we say, for example, go to say civil engineering, level 6 and 7, bachelor or master's degree, so that off the job learning is done at Ulster University. So you just click on that link, and that should take you through, hopefully. Yes, it does. Okay. So just scroll down a bit more to find out a bit more about the course, and then we have here, and the colleges that deliver level 3, level 5 apprenticeships will have a similar structure to their website. So standard entry conditions. So you can see here, it's not just about having A levels. There are lots of equivalent qualifications. This is why we don't have all this on our site, because it is quite detailed, and we just wanted to direct you towards Ulster University. So this one, for example, A level requirement is 3Bs, and that will include maths and one from. So you can see there are very specific requirements around that particular apprenticeship type. So hopefully that helps. One question that we've had is around UCAS. Do you need to apply to UCAS? Well, for these apprenticeships, you don't need to, but we would, if you've done your UCAS, that's okay, because that will be your backup if the apprenticeship doesn't work out for you or you're not offered an opportunity. So it is good to have that as a backup and have the apprenticeship there as well. Sorry, UCAS, sorry, or any full-time course, whether it's at college or university, as a backup. Okay, Olivia's asked here, what are the lowest qualifications needed to apply? Well, this is what we've tried to do with Workplus is try and make sure there's an apprenticeship for everybody of every ability. So some of the apprenticeships that we're helping companies find will be at level 2, which is really a low entry criteria. You could really apply for that with D to G GCSEs, and even if you don't have GCSE maths and English, you would do the essential skills as part of the apprenticeship. So there you can filter on the levels within on the website and have a look and see which ones that are a lower level. Again, the entry criteria will be on each of the college and university websites. So question there, but do you need to be invited by a company to do the aptitude test? Some companies might do their own aptitude test, but this is one that we're doing for all our applicants, and you'll not be invited. It'll be in your confirmation email once you finish your application, but it will also be in that login, and you need to go and do it yourself. It's not mandatory. We're not saying that it needs to be done, but what we're trying to do is give you a better way of being matched to the right company, so it's successful for you and for the company as well. Okay, I think we've picked up on all the questions that have they've come through. Sorry, just missed Scott's there. Actually, how many can you apply for? So Scott, good question. You can apply for as many as you like, and but I would encourage you to be serious about the ones you're applying for. Don't just go for a scattergun approach. Make sure that you are really putting in the effort to research the companies, to know who they are, and that. But we've tried to make it as easy as possible for you to apply to as many as possible. So you can do that through the login. Okay, well, I think that's covered all the questions that have come through. Hopefully that's been useful for you. Thanks for giving up your time. And this will be recorded, as I say, so we'll post it on our YouTube channel, and we'll circulate it to you afterwards as well. And then we can also continue the conversation, on our website. There's a chat function there. And I've just noticed one last question coming through here. Sorry. Should we try and find companies that are local to me? So from Janine. Janine, it really depends on whether or not you've got access to a car. Like, we've tried to be upfront about which companies want which type of apprenticeships. It's up to you to have a look and see where they are. At this stage, because it's quite early in the process, still the companies might not know themselves exactly the location that you might be working in. So I would encourage you to apply for the apprenticeship types that you're interested in, and I think the rest will work itself out throughout the process. Okay, well, we'll leave it there for now, and if there are any queries at all, please just join the chat on our website, and we'll hopefully pick up any additional questions that you have. Thanks again for your interest, and for those of you who've applied already, thank you for that. Hopefully this has been useful. And for those who haven't applied yet, I encourage you to do so as soon as possible. As I say, deadline is Friday, the 26th of February at 1 p.m. sharp, and the applications will close at that point. There are no late entries being allowed. So encourage you to do that. Thanks so much for your interest, and wish you every success.